Hello everyone, it's Oscar once again. It's been a while. Welcome to my YouTube. It's been a minute since we get to talk or share a little bit, but I've had a lot of so many things going on, and thank you for those guys who've been reaching out to me, asking me, "Hey, what has happened, Oscar?" But uh, join me today in regard to what I promised last time that I was gonna guide you towards the process of F-1 visa. I know I've talked about different types of visas that are available for anyone who is wishing to come to United States. Through various categories. United States has so many different types of visa, and namely the around 185, if I'm not wrong, types of visa. But these types of visas are just subdivided into two. That is what we call non-immigrant visa and the immigrant visa, which is the other one is for those people who are having what we call permanent residency in United States, and we have among J1 visa, F1 visa, and then M1 student visa. So, but what am I gonna talk about it today? Today I chose to come clear, and I just want to explain and expound much about F1 student visa. There is some things you need to know about student visa, and I'll just tell you what is student visa. A student visa is that visa is given to any international student who want to pursue educational career in United States. It ranges, it covers from different setup from elementary to university and also to graduate school. Including other degrees you wishing to pursue. So that is what you need to know about what is F1 visa. So there are some certain things you need to know about F1 visa, which is one is requirements, eligibility, and application steps. Now these are several questions that people ask most oftenly. The reason I used to do this episode is to just highlight and understand what you need to know about F1 visa students. This type of F1 student visa, guys, is right most commonly used by students. I used B1 B2 to come to United States, but I later changed to F1 visa so that it can allow me to study. So there are some ranges of requirements that need to be talked about, like how you qualify to apply for F1 visa. One pertinent thing I feel people should understand is what we call service fee or service. Service is a kind of admission to be admitted or accepted in the United States. It's called an student exchange visitors program, SEVB. It has the list of schools or universities and other institutions which meet conditions, and they have to accept international students. I would suggest before you do any application, make sure you check on the criteria. Make sure you check if the school has the student exchange visitor program that you intend to apply, because if it doesn't have this kind of scholarship, it will limit you from applying any school. So the other thing you need to understand is to be enrolled as a full-time student. Every international student has to be enrolled like a full-time, right? Like if you need to maintain your status, you have to apply as to institution, and you have to maintain your status. For you to maintain your status in school, you need to take at least, for undergrad, you have to take at least 12 credit hours, and for graduate school it's just like 9 credit hours. But here is a thing: wherever, when you're going towards your graduation, you have to you can take as much as limited credit hours you pursue to graduate. You can take like 3 credit hours, 1 credit hours for you to graduate. It doesn't have any effect when you towards your graduation. And then the other thing I need to mention, I don't want to forget, is the issue of maintaining your status. For you to maintain your status in US, you have to pass. You have to meet all the set criteria, because you can take 12 credit hours, and you have to pass all the classes. Other than that, if you don't pass the classes, you risk you being terminated, your service being terminated. And if your service is terminated, you became out of status. And those students who have had the privilege of being out of status, or it's not an easy thing. You have to fly, you have to go to a different country institution, which they can reinstate your service fee, because you have to pay for it like you're applying a new institution. So check very well. If you are admitted in any institution, make sure you have checked all the requirements needed by USIS. So I've talked about being enrolled, and the other thing is you need to prove like financial. You have to have your finances. You have to have sufficient funds to facilitate your studies. This shows like bank statement that will show how you're gonna cover your expenses while studying in US. And it doesn't mean like when you are an international student you don't qualify for, you are not eligible for any scholarship. You are. If you are applying, make sure you check on the application, make sure you check on the criteria which they give out this scholarship. You might apply, you might try your luck, you might get what we call waiver, and they pay for your tuition, and you're good to go. So I also encourage people, while doing any application for any institution in US, make sure you check if they have a scholarship. Make sure if they have graduate assistant. If you're an international student, make sure you provide, you give all the details of yourself, what you intend to do, and that is the most important thing. The last thing, the most important thing while you're applying is be proficient in English. You must prove that you can speak and understand English at all level that enables you to enroll in academic program. Students can provide an exam like American Standardized English Proficiency Exam, such as TOEFL or IELTS, among many other exams if you've done so. Those are the things I've talked like you need to get to know if you are eligible, if you qualify. Those are the things you at least have to consider before you do any application. So as we go forward, there are some basic things I will also want to tell you while you apply for F-1 visa. Every minute I always tell people, before you start a program, you have to look at certain things. There are some very important elements you have to put in mind. Like before you start, you need to have your valid passport. Every passport, everybody who is willing to to go to a different country, to immigrate to every country, the first thing in mind is your passport. You can never apply a school without a passport. You can never apply anything without your traveling documents. So after you have your passport, you need to file a form called a DS-164 non-immigrant visa application. This is one of the most frequent asked questions. What is DS-160? It is a form which is online that you can file, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. But the DS-160 itself should be the amount of money, but nowadays it's changing because of some things have been changing nowadays. The number three thing you need to for your visa requirements, 2 photographs meeting the US visa photo requirements, and then the proof of F-1 visa fee. And then the last thing you need to provide is your I-20. I-20 states the amount of the funds you need to finance your education throughout the year. If you're going there for 3 years, it should list that every year you should be paying this. That's the list of things you need to know. You have to submit the documents which prove you have the amount of money readily available. Make sure you write that. This can be done by submitting your bank statement. If you're financing yourself or as a private student, you have to provide a bank statement for at least 3 years, your tax record, your pay stub for previous employment. If you receive a scholarship, you need to provide that. You need to submit the proof of it. If you're paying a semester or a year worth a tuition, is also a good idea, but not mandatory. You don't have to pay that, but if you have money, you can do that. You can actually pay your money, which ideally it's this money is refundable if you did not get your visa approved. They will refund your money. It's just completely a one way to increase your chances of getting a visa approval. If you can pay a certain amount of money, there is chances that you are committed to perform, to pay your fee. So the last thing is, if somebody is paying for you, maybe even in this country, maybe in US, you have to submit a form called I-34, affidavit of support, and the bank statement for the last 3 years for that person. And if you are funding your education through a loan, if you have a loan, you need to also provide these proofs. It also has to accompany you during your interview. So the other thing you need to documents that prove your previous education is like your original transcript, your standardized test score, acceptance letter from the institution you intend to go, your previous diplomas if you've gone to junior college, diploma college, etc. You have to prove them, and then the last thing is your insurance. Most schools might ask you, you have to prove, you have to provide an insurance for the entire semester, and you have to purchase that online. It's kind of cumbersome thing, but if you want to speed up things, you have to do such a things. So I know many of you friends, those subscribers, have asked me how to do I apply for an F-1 visa. Applying F-1 visa is just a very simple task. You only need to go to us.gov website, and you have to fill your form there, DS-160. But before then there is things you need to do. You need to get your admission documents like service that I've talked previously. You need to have that, and then you apply the form online, the DS-160 form. You have to pay the fee, the application fee. It depends with the country you reside at. It depends to where you're staying at, and then you have to pay the service I-901 fee, which is depending on the country, it's almost $285, and then submit the file with F-1 visa requirement document, and then you attend the interview. All that is just a very simple. It is 7 process you need to follow. If you get your documents together after you've been accepted in that school you want to go, you school of your choice, complete all the procedures that is needed. The most document you need to have is form I-20. This is what we call certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant student status. Without this form, you will not be able to apply for F-1 student visa. It's that one. That's the only thing you need to apply for a visa, student visa. If you have that, you're good to go. You can now apply DS-160. You fill that form online. You start your usual application process. This include filing DS-160 online. It asks necessary information about your status, your visa for student visa. You pay the fee like I've said, and then the fee is different basically based on different countries you reside. Then you schedule for your interview. After you've done that, you filing it, pay your fee, and then you schedule for your interview. The interview actually, it's a mandatory step before you get to your visa. This is where an officer will test you a lot of many things. It will test you most about what you need to understand. It's about your school. You need to understand what you are going to do in that school, and for how long is your program gonna stay. How long is your program, the length. You now have to think about the ties. If you feel like you will still want to stay in America, don't show the officer that you will come to stay, apply for work permit. No. Just tell them when I am done with my degree, you're gonna travel back, you have a family, all that. So submit your file as required, and then attend the visa interview. It's the interview itself is a very tricky and very easy at the same time. If you mean business, if you're very wise, review all your documents, review everything from A to Z, plan, have your forms in a specific order, and make sure you be brief, make sure you answer the questions correctly, make sure you provide the correct information that is concurrent to what is in your DS-160, because most of the questions you will be asking is the questions that are in your DS-160, and this is where we fail mostly. And before I forget that, whenever you're applying your school, make sure you use the original bank statement you used. Make sure you take it with you there, because it will be very hard for you to convince the officer if you take a different bank statement, which is going to be complicate the process. It is going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard if you take a different bank statement. If there's some changes, you just have to tell them like this and this has changed, and you should know that person who is sponsoring you. If it's your uncle, friend, a family friend, know them, know the details of the person. Make sure you know the exactly amount of money that is in the account, so that it cannot bring you issues later. So people might ask, how long is visa valid for? It depends on the country and the region where you come from. Like from Kenya, when your visa is approved, it might be for a full time that you will be in school in US. Yeah, it depends. Kenya can be 5 years, depending on where you come. If your study takes 1 year to graduate, the embassy will most likely to give you a visa that is valid for 1 year. If your degree is 4 years, concurrently 3, 4, the embassy will issue you based on the program you're going to study. So, and if your program needs extension, you will have to renew it, or maybe request for extension through the institution. And the validity of F-1 visa is stated in your I-20. Actually, it is stated in your I-20 and form I-94. This is actually a form that where when you get to the US, you're issued the form I-94. This is a form that will keep you stay here. So that's all about the process of applying visa. And I'm gonna talk about the processing time. Mostly when you go to US embassy, the visa process is just immediate. If your visa is approved, you will know. The consulate officer will just ask you, your visa is approved. Some will tell you congratulations, some will review your document, some will tell you you are missing this, and some will just deny you, and they will never give you a reason why you denied. So it takes differently with different people, and in most cases the process is immediate, and some will take a few days, some will go administrative process, and you should be patient for that. So when should you apply for a visa? It ranges, it depends on your institution of choice. You can apply for visa 120 days before you schedule to start your program. You cannot apply any earlier than that, but applying later might also jeopardize your program, might jeopardize your processing time. But as soon as your 120 close period starts or begins countdown, you have to make sure you start your application. After you've been approved or you've completed your studies in US, your visa expires with your service fee. That you have a grace period to determine where you're going. Maybe you're gonna depart to your country, or if your visa doesn't cover the all time you will be in school, you need to apply for renewal. So in most cases people ask, hey, can I work as an international student? Can I work as an international student? That's a very good question that I've always received. Yes, you can work, but you can be limited. But F1 student visa has some benefits. Totally has a lot of benefits, like more than being on a visit visa. You can get to work part-time in college. You can also adjust your status later if you get a sponsor. You can apply H1 HB1 visa, and it can lead you to adjustment of status. So it can allow you can adjust yourself, though it's a very complicated process that it's not an easy to adjust your status. But if you have extraordinary abilities, you may get married to United States person, or prove that you will invest in $500,000 in the US economy. You can adjust your status. And also, student visa travel outside US while on the studies. Yeah, like holidays, like summertime, you can travel, but you need to inform your institution of choice. And one thing I need to bring up is, being on F1 visa, you can bring your family. You can file your immediate relative or your immediate spouse or your children under 21 to accompany you, provided if you have funds to support them. And there are some things you need to know about that. You must be the spouse of approved F1 visa. You have to provide paperwork that shows. Be the unmarried child under 21 years old of an approved F1 visa holder. Have financial support. I've talked about that, and mostly that's the case of being student visa. So the process, after you've completed all that process of applying a visa, there is also the issue of maintaining your status in US. Maintaining your status can be a very challenging thing, actually, to be honest. Maintaining your status can be, can mean different things. I've said, if you are out of status, if you fail in a certain class, if you cannot pay your fees at the time, some schools will terminate your service. And when your service are terminated, you face immigration. And again, if you walk out of your institution, sometimes the immigration can come for you. But it's quite hard though. But if your paperwork are in good, if you've not caused any issue, you've never had a felony, make sure you maintain. And the most fundamental thing I'm gonna talk today is encouraging those who are applying for student visa. Coming to US is a choice of yourself. Is something you have to make a very hard decision, and the process itself is quite difficult. The process itself is slow. It takes time. It needs patience. But after you get a scholarship, after you get a I-20, you get everything. While concentrating on other things, please understand the need why you came to US. We face a lot of challenges. We in this country we come and learn some other culture. We face culture things. We got other good things that we never got at home. Maybe you've never drink some alcohol. You can get alcohol in this country. I don't say it's wrong to drink alcohol, but it depends on you. If you wanna drink it, you can drink it, but carry yourself in order. If you are a student athlete, please maintain the discipline, because when you lose a scholarship, paying out of pocket is another you've chose. When someone loses scholarship, you deem to definitely not going to manage to pay your school fees. If you don't have social security, don't ever try to be in a wrong side of your coach. I'm talking this from the perspective side of being an assistant coach. Make sure you maintain the discipline. If you run well, coach will never have any problem with you, and it's gonna help you. So folks, for those people who are planning to apply for a scholarship, the journey begins from your mind. It begins from your head. It begins from the day you make such a decision. Traveling to US, you need to be bold. You need to make a very tough decisions. But if you are a very lighted person, you might not get to come here, because the journey itself takes a while. It takes like 4 to 3 years, 3 or I can say 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 years, depending on your how you do things. And do not limit yourself to different schools. You can apply so many schools of your choice. I applied almost 100 schools, and that will mean you have to work hard. If you're going to apply for a graduate school, make sure you get a good references. Make sure you have a good professors who can reference you very well. Make sure you polish your English when you're writing an essay. Make sure you provide all your transcripts. Make sure you provide everything in order so that it will be very easy. You know what most think people do is look in what you've provided, if in what the school is requesting you. So long as you provide it, I don't want to talk about what you provided, but if it is in line with institutional guidelines, you have no problem with that. So I'm hoping, guys, getting to school in United States, it's your choice. You go to online, apply. Sometimes I post such schools in my Facebook. They're free. They some pay for you application fee they waive, and it's just your application. So I hope this message gets you well. If you are intending to pursue or expand your horizons, uh, kindly follow my YouTube. It's called Kibekeros. I'll keep you posted in my next episode. And if you need something, just leave a comment below here, and I will respond in my next episode. And it's been glad to be with you guys, and I hope you have a good day and wherever you are. And for those folks who have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. You're missing a lot about scholarship, you're missing a lot about being a student, being student athlete. And I will basically bring a lot of guests very soon. We will have some formerly student athletes who have maneuvered to become US citizens. They will share their stories. You will listen with them. Some are very quite fascinating stories about their lives, and I hope it will change your life. You guys, you look amazing. Keep on watching, subscribing, and I'll appreciate. I hope you have a good day, and may God bless you. Bye bye. Thank you for